Hey guys, welcome back to Be a Creative. It is day number 5 in my 8 crazy tags of Hanukkah series, and this tag is a little different. It can be kind of challenging to find Jewish and Jewish related crafting items like stamps, stencils, and dies. So I thought to myself, what if I didn't have anything? This is my solution. I made this tag that really conveys the sentiment of Hanukkah without using any pre-purchased stamps, dies, or stencils related to Hanukkah. I only used the things that I had. The first thing was getting some paper to draw in my candle. I'm going to suggest that you use any type of scrap piece of paper. I literally just tore a piece from a Dylusions dialogue planner that I had that I'm obviously not using for anything. I didn't want to take the time to have to paint in a background, so a pre-painted piece of paper was perfect. I tore it out of the book, very quickly did a sketch onto the paper of a candle-like object. As you can see, it's a little uneven. I used my Stabilo pencil, wet the edges just to give it a nice dark outline, and boom, I was done. I used previously jelly plated tags from our session that we did yesterday for the background. And if you're a routine crafter, you probably have a stash of gel plated tags somewhere, even if you didn't wind up gel plating yesterday when we worked on that tag. I'm using some Distress Collage glue, of course. That is a Vicky Boutin oil pastel that I'm going to use later. Honestly, it was just sitting on my desk, so I decided I'm going to go ahead and use it. Now I have some scrap pieces of paper that I'm pulling out, some random tissue paper, some of those leftover dies from our tag for day 4, and I'm thinking I'm just going to throw them onto the tag. That's another piece of gel printed paper, and I'm using some Nuvo Embellishment mousse later on in the tag for some texture. I don't typically use a lot of texture paste and things like that, so this was a new experience for me as well. The first thing I'm going to do is figure out where I want to place my focal point. Oh, you're also going to need some alphabet stamps. Forgot about that too. Also forgot to tell you you're going to need a stencil, though honestly I didn't know what stencil I was going to use until I was in the moment. I tend to put most of my focal points to the left of my card, art journal page, or tag, and then my sentiment, whatever message I'm trying to convey, always seems to go to the right. That's something that I've noticed from editing all these videos and going back and looking at some of my work. I'm going to try to stop that in 2020. I tore up pieces of that tissue paper. You can cut them, but because we're collaging them down with that Distress Collage medium, you're not going to see the edges. What you are going to see is that really pretty silver that's been left over from the tissue paper. I have a couple of more scrap pieces of paper that I'm just randomly gluing. I'm not going to add a lot of black or neutral to this tag, but I do want just a little bit, especially where it sits right behind the candle. Once that's dry, trust me, go around the edges of your tag. You can use a color, but again, I really like white space, so I wanted some more of it. And those oil pastels actually work really nice over acrylic paints. If it's not moving as much as you'd like, I was like friendly. If it's not being as friendly as you like we become super BFFs with our craft supplies. If it's not moving as easily as you'd like, you can wet your finger. I'm going to use the Nuvo Embellishment mousse, and it kind of fought me because I haven't used it very often. It started to dry up. I had actually originally intended to use a darker color, but when I went to stick my finger in it, and I know you're not supposed to stick your finger in it, but I just stick my finger in a lot of stuff, wet paint, glue, everything. It was hard as a rock, so I had to switch gears and use a lighter color. Don't do anything to your tag until that's dry. Trust me, because it will smear everywhere. I have a couple of more scrap pieces of paper that I'm going to put behind my candle just to give it more texture. That piece, however, is actually not paper. It's trash. I'm gonna be honest, it's trash. It is a dried out baby wipe where I was just wiping off Dina Wakley scribble sticks after I was using them on the gel plate. I let it dry and I really liked the little rainbow effect that it gave. So I cut out a heart and decided that I was going to stick it to something. It made it to this tag. I did go around the edges with the gelato that I previously forgot to show you as well. And when it comes to putting down that little, I don't know, what are baby wipes made out of? It's not felt. It's some type of like paper towel that's really soft. I don't know. Whatever that is, it's not paper. But because it has gelato on it, I'm going to be really careful when I glue that down. Gelatos will react to water or any type of liquid medium. So I didn't want to smear it too bad. I was being very gentle, and even you can see as gentle as I'm being, it's still kind of smearing a little bit across the paper towel, the dried baby wipe. Let's just call it what it is. Now I'm going to add my candle. There's a part of it that's sticking off. Stuff like that really bothers me. It really bothers me when I have bits and pieces hanging off the side of my tag. So I'm going to wind up cutting that off in a little bit, but if it doesn't bother you, you can leave it. And looking at it now, I'm thinking I probably should have left it. Again, let that dry. Now we're going to take some Stazon ink, because remember we're stamping over acrylic paint, and I'm just going to stamp out my sentiment. I'm going to stamp out Be a Light, because that's really the sentiment and the principle of Hanukkah. And I think regardless of whatever your faith is, there's something incredibly powerful about a single candle pushing back the darkness. And that was really what I was trying to convey with my message. I'm just going to tear this because I don't want to cut it. If I cut it, it's going to look too, I don't know, fancy. It's going to look too formal, and it's not going to fit in with the theme of the tag. Someone told me that if you tear paper down, you won't see the core, and it worked. I didn't see the core, but I'm still going to go around the edges again with that gelato. I only have a couple of those. I picked them up just to kind of try them out. I kind of like them, but I'm still having a hard time figuring out what to do with them other than what I do with the distress crayons, which is basically just edge everything with them. I don't know. I'm going to be brave and try to use them a little bit more in a different way. Because I used the gelato, I am just going to go over the back of that piece of paper with the Dylusions craft stick. Because if I go over it again, no matter how careful I am with the Distress Collage medium, it's just going to get all messy and smeared from the gelato. And unlike the paper towel heart, it's not going to look as good. I'm inking the edges with the Stazon this time instead of the VersaFine, because, you know, while the VersaFine will eventually dry on the cardstock, I want to use Stazon over acrylic. I do want to add some type of neutral because there's a lot of blue going on and everything's kind of fading in. So adding a neutral to your tag gives your eye a place to rest and brings a little bit of cohesiveness to it. I just used a balled up, well, it wasn't balled up. I didn't put it on a block. It was just a random script tag that I found laying on my desk. We're going to add a silver ribbon. Again, not a bow. This has turned into like a saga with this bow. Oh my gosh, it's so melodramatic. The bows of our lives. It's like, get it? It's a play on the days of our, I'm sorry, it was super punny and cheesy. Anyway, not a bow, just a very simple little ribbon to tie it off. And there's our tag. Thanks guys. I'll see you next time.